Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. I'm Leslie Watkins and I'm here today to help you make something beautiful. Well, it's Watercolor Wednesday and I have out my inks today. So these are water-based inks. These are the exact same inks that we use to refill our ink pads, and they work beautifully as watercolors. And last time I showed you an example of using the new in colors and we painted a landscape. Well, today I thought I'd do the same thing and see how they work with a still life painting. So I have 5 of the new in colors in this little palette, and I've got some of the craft white, and then over here I just have some yellow, red, and blue just in case I need to get a brighter color. I'm going to be using the Fluid 100 watercolor paper today and my water painters, and the water painters are brushes that have the reservoir in the handle for the waters, which makes them extremely handy for sketching out of doors, which I'm going to be talking about the new watercolor sketching class coming right up. So there is a link posted on the Facebook page that you can click on that will give you more information about that. But I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later in the show. I also have a brand new bundle, and this comes from the 2023-24 annual catalog from Stamping Up that will go live on May 2nd. And this stamp set comes with all of these dies to cut out these various sentiments, and I really like this congratulations that's on here. So I thought I would use that one after the painting is dry to make a note card. So let's get started. I'm just going to begin with my middle-sized paintbrush, and this is going to be a very loose painting today. Okay, it's just going to be a quick and easy and loose kind of abstract, pretty floral. So I'm going to zoom you in so that you can see a little bit better. Uh-oh, there it goes. Okay. Let me get my paints arranged here. I'm running out of space. Okay, so what I have here is a half sheet of the Fluid 100 watercolor, and I've just given it a little bit of a spritz. And before we get started, I just want to check my settings, make sure that you can see me. And that looks like it's working. And good morning, Kelly. I see you there. I'm going to begin with a very loose sketch using my brush and a neutral tone. So I'm just getting my my brush wet, and I'm just mixing just anything that's on my palette, really, just to get a very soft kind of a tone that I can start to get some shapes on here. So the composition is going to be a vertical. And I'm going to have the flowers in a vase on a table. And for my inspiration, I'm working from a painting that I posted in the Dandelion Paper Pal Facebook group. So if any of you would like to follow along, you can go to the Paper Pals and you can see an image of the painting that I'm working from today. Now I'm changing the proportions a little bit to fit the note card, but that's my kind of basic design. And if you've been following along with me, and you've been, if you're a member of the Watercolor Card Club, you'll know that this is how I begin what I call a thumbnail study. Okay, and so I'm just kind of mapping out the lights and the darks on the paper, figuring out where my composition is, and I'm just kind of getting set up. Now this bouquet has some very beautiful roses and lilies in it, and so there are some very pretty soft pinks. So I'm just going to get those started. And there's some green for the foliage. And got some flowers over here. You see, so with just a few strokes, it doesn't take much to get something started. And I think you can see how beautifully the water-based ink works to get a nice kind of a painterly effect. Now it may look pretty abstract right now, but as I continue working, I'll add some shapes that will begin to read as the leaves and the flowers. Now let's look at some of these roses. I'm just shifting the composition over a little bit so that the design works for the proportions of the card here. Get some darks going. And we have a kind of a pinkish drape here on the table. It sort of folds over the edge. And one of these flowers is a lily. So I'm just going to sketch in some of those petals. And some of the details in the center of the flower. And there's a bud. Okay, so we're just about done. It's just taken a few minutes to do a quick sketch, and these things are so useful for planning out your bigger compositions. You can practice your color mixtures. Work out your placement of all the items that you have in your picture. And over here, we've got some roses on the table, so we can sketch those in. Get our leaves and a stem. Now it looks like the bouquet is in this beautiful pitcher, so we can get the shape of that. All right, so that is pretty wet now, so I'm going to have to give that a minute to dry. So once it's dry, I can go back in and add a few more details. But while that's drying, I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to get out my sentiment. So for my sentiment, I'm going to need a scrap of Very Vanilla, so I'm going to grab one of those. I think I'm going to use the new In Color Pebbled Path for my sentiment. We're going to go with Congratulations. It's a brand new set, never been used. Oh, wrong one. That's not the one I'm looking for. That lined up on my block. Now for my calligrapher friends out there, of course you can do your own beautiful script, but my calligraphy is not that good. So I'm just going to go ahead, make sure I have plenty of ink on there. And there's my congratulations. Beautiful. And let's see, here's this looks like the die that goes with that, yes. So I'm going to get out my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So let me just move this aside a little bit and I'll zoom you out. Now I want to line this up very carefully, so I'm going to get right over this. If I get in the way of the camera, excuse me. But I just want to make sure I have all the letters. That looks pretty good. Let's see how I did. Oh, I didn't do so well. I'm going to go ahead and do that again. You see, I got a little bit too close to the bottom of the C here. But one of the wonderful things about stamping is it's very easy to make duplicates. So let's see if I can get a better die cut. I may have to use a Post-it note to hold the die in place. That may help. And where are my Post-it notes? know how these things disappear right in front of me, but they do. Here we go. Just going to line that up. That's better. Okay, so there we go. There's the congratulations, looking very beautiful. And now we just need a card base. I'm using the very vanilla thick cardstock, and I have one of the medium envelopes here. Because the painting is still so wet, I'm not going to glue it just yet, but what I do want is, I think I want to add a border to this. So I'm going to go with that Pebbled Path New In Color cardstock. And I've got a piece here. Let's see if that's the right size. That's perfect. I'm going to go ahead, get that lined up. And I'm going to add my congratulations over in this section. So that is the basic idea for my card design here. Hold on a second while I get it. Okay, and I'm going to put this aside for just a few minutes, and as soon as it's dry enough, I'm going to add a few more details in the picture, and then I'm going to put it all together, and you'll be able to see the finished card in the thumbnail. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you're interested in joining me for the watercolor sketch class, I'm going to be posting that information today. Registration will be open for just a week or two, and then there will be a package that will go out to you, and we're going to have a live Zoom critique and question and answer. So if you're somebody who's never painted before, if you'd like to learn how to get started, if you'd like to get some basic supplies so that you can be ready for the garden season, this is your perfect opportunity to do that. I'm going to start at the very beginning, and I'm going to help each and every one of you get started off on the best foot possible so that you can have a complete summer of sketching fun. So all that information is on the is up on my Facebook page right now, but I will include it in the description below once the video is posted. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you stay well, stay happy, and stay creative, and I will see you next time.